Okay, so this is year 12 mid-course exam. We're looking at paper 2 of the higher level paper. Question 3. The image represents the structure of the enzyme Rubisco from the common P. And we have this image here. So as soon as I see Rubisco, my thinking has already gone to the Calvin cycle. I'm already thinking about carbon dioxide being brought in and the acceptor of RUBP, ribulose bisphosphate, combining with carbon dioxide under the influence of this enzyme here. And indeed, the first question is all about that. State one function of Rubisco. So, the classic statement of the function of Rubisco would be to say carbon fixation. You might find that would definitely attract the mark. It's only one mark here. You might find if you word your answer correctly and you state photosynthesis, you would need to go a little bit further with that and be linking that to some aspect of carbon dioxide. So words which allude to carbon dioxide being combined in the Calvin cycle with RUBP to form glycerate phosphate. So words to that effect. But carbon fixation is the proper answer. It asks us what to state the role of the active site. So with a simple picture, of course, we have the lock and key hypothesis, the ancient idea like this. And there's the active site, this particular part of the protein that has shape into which the substrate, I'll call it S, the substrate fits into this location here, bringing about the catalysis of the substrate into product. And so what we need to say here is still state the role of the active site. I would say it binds or accepts the substrate, and I think a key word here is catalysis. So catalysis of that into the product. Okay, so we have the binding of the substrate to the enzyme, and then that creates the catalysis of the product. So that's what the active site does. State the genus of the plant where this Rubisco has been found. So if we go back to our stem, then we have the species name here with the genus followed by the species epithet. So Pisceum is the answer. So we just write Pisceum here. And although we haven't covered classification yet on this course, we have named many species, and students will be expected to remind themselves of the nature of a species name, which is the genus epithet followed by the species component of the name like this. And so in this case, you should be aware that that is Pisceum. This will be covered in great detail in the classification component of the course, but a good biologist should know that anyway. Outline one factor that could affect the activity of Rubisco. So we think of this as, think of it more generically, which is what factors can affect an enzyme. So I would always be putting down temperature as a possible factor. The concentration of carbon dioxide or the substrate could affect us. The concentration of the enzyme, which of course is Rubisco itself, so that could affect the rate of reaction. We could also, bearing in mind that we are dealing with photosynthesis, we could state that the light intensity might affect the activity of Rubisco. And for the second mark, so I'm only looking really for one of these, and for the second mark, I would be looking for it to say that it affects the rate of reaction, like that. So it says name one factor, outline, give a brief account of one factor that could affect the activity of Rubisco. So choose one of these and then say that it affects the rate of reaction. No need for detail because it is an outline. So that's 1 mark. And that brings us to the end of this particular question.